There once was a man named Gold Roger who was king of the pirates. He had fame, power, and wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Before they hung him from the gallows, these were the final words he said.
Our perspective is yours for the taking, but you'll have to join us first. We left everything we debated at the Yonkō Table.
Ever since, pirates from all over the world set sail for the Grand Line, searching for the Yonkō Table, the table that will make their dreams come true. Yo, everyone. The Yonkō Table has set sail yet again. I'm your Yonkō host, DrJaceAttorney, and we are here commemorating our 100th episode of the Yonkō Table. We're entering the triple digits, everyone. And what better way to commemorate our 100th episode than having our first ever Vivre Card Special. Now, those of you that have been sticking with us for a while, you guys know that our nomenclature on the Yonkō Table is based off of the hit anime and cartoon series One Piece. So I'm going to turn things over to my fellow co-host, Grandmaster Hoop, and he's going to give us just a quick rundown of what a Vivre card is and how we're tying it into this 100th episode of the Yonkō Table. Grandmaster, take it away.
Thank you, Dr. Jace. I'm gonna keep it brief. The Vivre card for One Piece fans, as you know, represents, person's life force, their life, kind of like a compass. Follow it, it takes you to where that person is. Yeah, y'all know the spiel. But here on the Yonkō Table, our show is gonna represent when we bring in a special guest. And, we brought in our supernova guest stars, but this is more like top tier special guests. People who got, some foot in the game, got some, they're in the industry. They're doing big things, whether we're talking directors, writers, producers, actors. This is the episode to come out for. So we today on our 100th episode, goodness, I can't believe we made it here. We have a special guest for us today. He's been around in the game for quite a while. He's been in projects and shows such as Moesha, Married with Children, The Parkers. And, as we have been covering the Proud Family Louder and Prouder, I think it was perfect time to reach out to him. But we'd like to introduce the co-executive producer of the Proud Family Louder and Prouder, Calvin Brown Jr. Calvin, thank you for being here with us today at the Yonkō Table.
Hey, it's my pleasure. Big fan, and I'm glad to be here for y'all's century episode. It's nice.
Right. Again, I didn't know we were here, but this is awesome. Yeah.
We're there. But yeah, Calvin, I guess the first thing that we wanted to ask you, being a co-executive producer and writer on the Proud Family Louder and Prouder, I guess to give our listeners just a basic understanding, what are some of your responsibilities as an executive producer on the show? Like, what do you do on the day-to-day basis as you're working with that title for both series?
Well, first and foremost, I'm a producer, yes, executive producer level, showrunner level, but I'm also a writer. And the main thing I do every day is work in the writer's room with the writers. We craft the episodes, we come up with great ideas, we brainstorm, we punch shows up when they're ready. I have to make sure all that's working. We have to make sure the story works. We have to make sure that it's funny, that it has heart, that it's something that people enjoy watching. And if they learn a lesson, normally from us, it's in a backhanded way. We don't try to be preachy or anything. And of course, I've said it before and I'll say it again, we try to be as funny as possible. And I think that's one reason people have loved the series and loved it first time around. And now, hey, 15 years later, we're back. Can you believe it?
I mean, it's hard to believe because I know they've been talking about Proud Family reboot and the age of reboots for a while now.
For a long time.
Right. So we're so glad it did come back. This was one of the reboots we were actually like rooting for it to happen. So that's really great that it did, because as longtime fans, this was a welcome return. But also, so you've been in the game, like, as you said, 15 years now, but and you are a writer. Is that where you got your start in the industry, was writing?
Yeah, my very first job, I was an intern on the writing staff of the show A Different World. during season 3. That was my very first job in the business. And 30 plus years later, I'm still doing television, and I'm happy. I love it. I'm a part of a reboot, a very successful reboot so far, we're being told. I mean, we're waiting to get the numbers and hopefully get a pickup, but everybody seems to be pleased that Disney television animation at Disney Plus, and we're extremely pleased. I don't think we, at least of the episodes you guys have seen, I don't think there's been a clunker in the bunch. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't think there's been a clunker that we worked on, period. So we're really excited about the future.
No, and I could definitely say that both with the original series and the revival one, there are things that we look for when trying to assess each episode, and a lot of the things that we kind of go back on, which I believe you mentioned it earlier, is like some of the life lessons that get taught in some of these episodes. And I could say, like, at least one of my favorite episodes, and I think Grandmaster has the background in his on his Zoom icon.
My proud fan. Father figures. Yes.
Father figures. I loved Father Figures. I absolutely loved it. I've loved every episode of the Proud Family so far, but by far episode 4, I believe it was episode 4.
Episode 4, yeah.
That's number 4.
Right.
It was a great episode. The one thing that we're doing when we brought the show back is that we were trying to take it to another level and try to do the stuff we couldn't do the first time around. The first time around, the character of Michael, he was always, kind of flamboyant, and I guess the traditional semi-stereotype. I'm not gonna say he was strictly a stereotype, but a lot of it was. And we had one episode where we highlighted him, where we called him a sissy.
The sissy, right?
Right. I remember that episode.
And it was a great episode, but it was as far as we could go at the time. So when we came back, we decided, you know what, let's make him a gay teenager, a queer teenager, and deal with it that way. And that way we made him a lot different than the first time around, but he was still Michael. But the biggest change was changing his voice from Phil Lamar to E.J. Johnson, who actually is Michael, who was Michael growing up. And it's been great. I mean, so I've been really excited about that. And then, of course, the Father Figures episode with Randall and Barry, to have a same-sex couple. I have never seen it on a Black animated series. I've only seen it on a couple of series. So it was fun. We did something, and I mean, my God, to have Zachary Quinto and Billy Porter, who is just incredible. And,
right. I was so excited to see Billy Porter casted as Randall. That was, as a Pose fan, I was like, yes, please bring on Billy.
Absolutely. My wife is a huge fan of his because of Pose. And I think her highlight was she was home one day when I was recording with Billy, and we were on a break, and she actually came and introduced herself to him. He spoke back to her, and she was so happy. So it was great to, do something where, your mom, I've had times my mom has met people on the show first time around, and my kids have met people on the show. So it's just kind of nice. It gave her a big kick, getting a chance to talk to him, because she loves that guy. And I do too. He's great.
So as a producer, is that part of your role too, is when the casting, noticeably, E.J. Johnson, that was a very noticeable casting decision right there. Do you have a hand in who you bring on to play certain characters, especially in this new series?
No, absolutely. We pitched some of our favorites. And Ralph Farquhar, our showrunner, he and Bruce got together when we first started, and Ralph recommended let's bring EJ in, because Ralph is good friends with his mom and dad, because Ralph's wife is also their interior decorator. So he was able to pick up the phone, and EJ was down, so it was great. But yeah, we all have a big part as far as the casting is concerned. I mean, we pitch people that we love, and a lot of times we get them, and a lot of times we don't. But it's funny this time around. People really want to come back and do the show because of the success, the first time. I mean, we had some big names the first time too, like Samuel L. Jackson and people of that ilk. So, and this year, I mean, you saw the list they put out of all the guest stars that are coming on the show. I can't even talk about half the episodes yet, but you guys are gonna be really happy. I mean, it's been a great year, and got some great people on here.
Well, I know one thing that we're definitely excited for is, and he was a titular character in the original Proud Family, but Al Roker.
Oh,
we loved the Al Roker episodes, and we know that, I think based on the title cards that have come out, just for the next episode, it just seems that Al Roker is going to be making a return. So definitely excited.
Al Roker will be on in 2 days.
2 days.
2 days. It's around the corner.
When You Wish Upon a Roker episode is premiering this coming Wednesday, so I think you guys will like it.
I mean, I think so, because and I didn't know this before, but you wrote Tweentown, the original.
First episode with Roker, I wrote.
Who came up with that idea to make Al Roker this magical genie that just wants to, come into Penny's life and wreak some?
Well, it's funny. Al's a huge animation fan, and prior to doing our show, he did an episode of Superman the animated series, and I think, I'm trying to remember exactly, but I think his people may have approached us. Al was interested in doing the show, so we decided to come up with an idea that would be fun, because I mean, the best thing about Tweentown, you have all these, teenagers, kids, and everything, and the only adult in town until we find out at the end of the episode is
Bobby
Al
Brown.
Roker. So it's like, well, we got to do something about it. We don't make him sound like some pedophile, like hanging around kids, So yeah, we kind of made him something magical, and so far so good. It's worked. I mean, and Al's great. I mean, you cannot find a better guy. And man, he's fast, he's quick on his feet, he ad-libs great, and he makes the stuff that we write on the page come to life. So I'm a huge fan of Al. So I think you guys are really going to love this Wednesday's episode.
Yeah, I mean, other than watching the Today Show, back when my parents turned that on, that was only Al Roker exposure I got. So seeing him on Proud Family, that was definitely different, but it works on many levels. But we wanted to ask, it's been what, 15 years? What?
Yeah, we premiered in September 2001. We were the first scripted show to premiere after 9/11.
Oh,
because first couple of weeks, it was just nonstop news. But when we premiered on Disney Channel, we were the first scripted show to premiere after 9/11. So it was great to come back. And sadly, we were also the first show to premiere when the war started in the Ukraine. So it's like every time Proud Family comes on,
it's always some global
hopefully
event.
It won't take us off the air again and just keep us there. We have no problem. But man, every time we premiere, something crazy goes down.
No, right. I think, there was even an episode of the original Proud Family that I think tackled, one of those social issues.
Islamophobia. The episode.
Yeah, that was a culture clash episode where each of the kids switched families, and Penny ended up with the Muslim family, and I think the daughter's name was Rafika. I can't remember exactly, but she was with the Proud Family. So it was actually a really fun episode. It was a very, very well done episode, I thought, too. And people still talk about it.
Yeah, definitely Proud Family does a great job. Again, you don't hit us over the head with the message, but it's there, it's in your face, and it's done in a comedic style that also it's not the comedy over the quality of what you're trying to get across. And I think y'all have done a great job with that, and specifically that episode, because having recently watched it not too long ago, it didn't really connect with me as a kid. When you revisit it, we are now, young adults, it makes a lot more sense that y'all were trying to expose, kids to, this grander idea of what it means for acceptance and, just differences and recognizing that altogether.
It's funny too. From you speaking about rewatching that episode, and this was never in our minds when we were doing father figures, but there was pretty much a very similar scene when they went home after they had a big dinner party and everything. When they went to the Muslim home, stuff was written on the house that was very inflammatory.
Right.
In the father figures episode, when Maya and KG get to Maya's locker, something just as inflammatory was written on that locker, and it's almost like, wow, it's been 15 years, but it still feels, works doing it the Proud Family way. So that's something I think that stands out. But the bottom line on both of them, like I always say, it's like one thing about the Proud Family, you're gonna laugh. we're gonna make sure you laugh. So, but yeah, it's good to and I never like to say teach or preach lessons, but it's always good to set it up with humor. And then when that moment comes, you're not expecting it. And at the end of the day, when you're doing a sitcom, and this is an animated sitcom, funny is something that people want. You want to escape, your life for 30 minutes and just laugh and enjoy yourselves. But in a backhanded way, like I always say, you learn something on Proud Family.
No, and I definitely agree with that sentiment, because like, the Proud Family, at least as a kid growing up, it was always that funny show on Disney Channel. And, I always watched it alongside, some of the other animated series like Kim Possible, and some of the other greats back then. And one of the things I always compare the Proud Family with my colleagues is with the shows that kind of like had a general genre, like, Proud Family was a comedy, but it still had the mature message. I always compare it to, I don't know if you've heard of it, Static Shock.
Oh yeah.
Back in the day, and Static Shock was really good, but I was going in as like a fan that just wanted to see, action, seeing a superhero go in, defeat the bad guys. But similar to Proud Family, you had episodes of Static Shock that dealt with very heavy things. Like I think there was an episode on school shootings with racism, gun violence.
Yeah.
It tackled.
We were sharing Phil with them at the same time. Of course, Phil was the star of Static Shock, but Phil was also like so many utility voices on the Proud Family. He was the voice of Michael. He was the voice of Michael's father, Coach Collins. He was just, Phil's like the best guy out there when it comes to doing funny voices. A lot of times he was doing Frenchman. He was doing, he was the original Mr. Chang for the Chang. He was their father. And, so Phil is just a guy we always, used. And unfortunately, because, and it's not unfortunate, it's like they're doing the right thing now. We try to cast a person who is of that ethnicity or of that race or of that creed or of that sexual orientation to do the roles now. It's not like it was when we did it 15 years ago. So we do have some Chang triplet episodes coming out in the works.
I knew it. I told you,
Calvin. I've been having this debate with Grandmaster for the past several weeks. I'm like, they're not going to bring the Chang triplets. He's like, yes, they will.
Because it's their opportunity to do it better. Because and
we're going to. You'll like it. We definitely.
I can't wait.
I'm so excited. Because one thing, it's like kind of a product of its time. We made a comment about Vanessa View, played by Brenda Song, and I think she's better portraying like an Asian American versus someone like Marsha Mitsubishi.
But we love Marsha Mitsubishi because come on, we had Sandra Oh playing that role.
Right.
You don't get much better than that, believe me. And,
Sandra Oh's fantastic.
Yeah, but Brenda's been great. Brenda Song's been great, and we decided to bring a character on that was Hmong, and we found out that Brenda was Hmong, and we worked with Brenda before, and Ralph worked with Brenda on the Wendy Wu film. So it was great to get Brenda over here, and she's done a magnificent job. And I think people are going to really love Vanessa Vu. It's funny, my son's fiance, her last name was Vu. So I said, well, I'll do something to get the family in there.
Gotta make some correlation.
Yeah, so, but it's we're trying to do it right. Like you said, this time around, we're trying to do it right. So I can't really say much more about the CHANG triplets and everything, but I think you'll like the look this time around. I think you'll like their attitudes. We're trying to differentiate them more this time around. So it should be interesting.
Ooh, that is exciting.
It really is. It's like, just because, back then on the original series, like you see a lot of these like kid characters and you're like, oh, like this is the kid group and this is the adult group. So when we're watching, the revival of the Proud Family, there's some characters that come to mind where we're like, is this guy gonna come next? Is this student gonna come next? One of them, which I think we saw in the trailers originally before the series came out, but Sticky. We were like, oh, Sticky's gonna be in it, but then he exited the first episode. We're like, oh man, okay.
Right. I mean, gosh, you could probably speak more on how that went down, but we figured, yeah, he would probably have to exit.
But probably shouldn't. And
Right,
unfortunately,
right.
The whole Orlando Brown situation has been, kind of sad because they're missing out on having that kid on Raven. He was so good on there. We're missing out having him on Proud Family because Sticky was iconic. When we were doing the show the first time around, Orlando had 3 shows. He had Proud Family, he had That's So Raven, and he starred in Fillmore. He had his own cartoon.
He's very prolific back then. Yeah.
And I think there's a chance that hopefully down the road we'll have him back for something. I hope so. Maybe one day he might be back on the show. You never know. But a lot of that is not our decision. It's out of our hands. But he's still a fan favorite. We still hear plenty of when's Sticky coming back? We want Sticky back. We miss Orlando. Orlando's clean now. Bring Sticky. I go read the stuff every other day on Twitter and stuff. So he still has that fan base.
And I feel we low-key peeped that too, because you could have just gone for the recast and kind of left that door open for him maybe. But
he's hard, man. It'd be hard to recast. Recasting Sticky would be about as hard as recasting Oscar Proud.
Right.
I'm gonna be honest. He's that art character. And
he really is.
It would be almost impossible, like recasting Sugar Mama, recasting, Dejanay. There's so many characters that I think is impossible to recast. And we love these guys. We don't want to recast them, So hopefully things will work out. Carmel turn some things around. We might see some of our favorites back, So one of my favorite things was how much people love, a lot of our ancillary characters. When the second episode came up and the Dr. Payne was back, man, they loved it. Dr. Payne's back.
Dr. Payne.
Then my episode, which is episode number 3, it all started with Orange Basketball. Peebo's back. Oh, Peebo. They loved it.
We saw Peebo, Frankie. We even saw the Reverend.
Came back.
The Reverend who was played by Kurt Franklin.
And he wasn't Kurt in that episode because we can't afford Kurt for one
right.
line. But, I think we'll see Mr. Franklin again sometime soon. But actually, the voice of Frankie did the voice of the minister. Aldous Hodge did both voices in that episode.
Oh, wow, okay.
Great bringing him back. We've had a lot of really great talent, and the fact that you're able to come back and and Aldous he has all kind of projects going on. This is when One Night in Miami was going on, the show he was doing with Kevin Bacon on Showtime.
And now he's got the
Hawkman and Black Adam.
Yeah,
he's got some things going on, but he came back when we said, Aldous, we'd love to have you back. He was ecstatic because he loved the Proud Family. So we built a lot of great relationships. And the best thing too about on that episode, we introduced Kareem, and people just lost their minds. And oh my God, to get Asante Black to do the voice, that kid is incredible. And you will see him on Wednesday on the Roker episode.
Ooh, okay.
Kareem's coming back. Let's go.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of Kareem coming up this season. I think you guys will enjoy it.
And I guess that's one thing we've noticed too, is that and maybe it's because on the new platforms such as Disney Plus, we saw some overarching stories going on and some, development happening that we didn't really see in the original. The original was more kind of episodic in a sense. Is that something y'all knew you wanted to do going in to kind of differentiate with the new series?
We do want to do some serialization, but overall, I think right now, especially coming back, you don't want to get too serialized. You want people to have that familiarity of like, this is the Proud Family. Oh, this is the same Proud Family I watched years ago. As time goes on, though, I'm sure more of that will take place, and hopefully, we'll have some cliffhangers and stuff that we didn't have the first time around. So I think there'll be a lot of surprises. But the thing that felt so good to us was that people who loved the show before, overall, they still love it now. And the other thing is, I remember the first day we went back to work and we started pitching stories and coming up with ideas. It's like we never left. I mean, it was like, and we had new writers. I mean, only 3 that came back from the original show were Bruce Smith, Ralph Farquhar, and myself. But despite that, we felt like this is the Proud Family. Nothing's changed. And the writers we brought on are great writers and also fans of the show. And oh my God, storyboard artists, directors, everybody involved just love the Proud Family. So I think that's why that feeling was there, and it made us feel good that, we brought along this great next generation of talent. And I think so far so good. And the artwork's just beautiful. I mean, I think night and day compared to the first series. I mean, but, come on, it's like you wanna like advance as time goes on, and it's just a beautiful show to watch.
No, it is. And, it's funny because I've seen some comparisons on social media where, they'll show like the backdrop of like, specifically, I remember with episode 3 where it would show like art pieces of like Penny's backyard with the basketball court. And it would just show how beautifully it was drawn. And I'm like, I saw that in the episode, and they'll compare it to like, man, we've come a long way since the original Proud Family. Even though the original Proud Family was good, I noticed even as a child, there were some episodes where it was like, that one looked kind of off a little bit.
Well, yeah, and it's funny. And even in that first episode, the basketball episode I wrote, we put in, it was just a clip, but it was enough to see Oscar about to miss the shot, and then the character tore the screen up from the old show back to the new show. So that was fun. And we've also had a couple other flashbacks. We had
you referenced La Cienaga's feet.
Yeah, but we had that, the flipper reference. And so yeah, it's like we go back and forth and try and just sprinkle in a little of the old show from time to time, but it's louder and prouder this time around. It's a brand new show, but hey, we set a pretty good foundation the first time around.
No, I okay, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say for sure, yeah.
I agree, because I feel like whenever a show is supposedly getting like a reboot or a revival, I feel like the immediate conversation that people tend to have is like, oh, why is it coming back? Does it have more messages to tell? And it's always that, rocky boat where you don't know if it's gonna hit the same way that it did originally, and if it's gonna, elicit new messages. And
85% of the time the response is, why they bring the show back and ruin it? This sucks, So I'm glad that knock on wood that didn't happen this time.
It definitely did not. Yeah, I can agree. I mean, Grandmaster, we've been talking about these episodes weekly, and it has broken the norm of the dreaded curse of revival and reboot series. So we're definitely enjoying it.
Yeah, hey, we are too. We love doing it, and I think, and it's funny. The first time we did the show, originally, I think Disney was envisioning a kids show, but when Ralph and I came on board, when Bruce and Disney, when they bought the show, because the show was originally a pilot for Nickelodeon, it would have been like a SpongeBob,
right.
When Disney bought the show after Nickelodeon passed, they approached Bruce to do a sitcom. So Bruce said, well, look, I love this guy named Ralph Farquhar. Let's see if he's available. Bruce saw Ralph on the show. Ralph called me and said, Calvin, we're going to do this animated show. So I said, hey, I'm there. So, I mean, Ralph's still my mentor, even though we worked together like over 30 years. But, something works. We still love working together. But, so it worked out great. And the thing is, we came in and we wrote the show like we wrote Moesha, like we wrote The Parkers, like we wrote Married with Children, shows that we all worked on, and we never truly wrote a kid show. We wrote a family show because families are universal, and in most sitcoms, it's normally about a family, and this is a workplace show. So we just did what we did best, and it worked out great.
Yeah, so definitely, yeah, because I used to sit. My dad loves the Proud Family. I think just the old school references made throughout. And I see Oscar in him too. So the show was really good at. You could see yourself, especially as young Black Americans, or diversity across the board throughout the show. There's a lot of people you could relate to. But speaking of the family, what was it like telling the original cast that they were coming back? Was they were they aware? Were they wondering? What was their response?
Well, we told them, but told them to keep it under wraps. But Tommy was at a movie premiere, and the word kind of got out. And of course, they denied it. They're ready to announce it. But overall, everybody was super excited, and overall, the majority of them didn't spill the beans. I think Joe Marie may have spilled the beans on a reunion show that they had, I think on Good Morning America or something, talking about family matters or something that she and Reginald Bell Johnson were together. And I think it came out there too. But, by that time, the majority of people knew it was happening. And but yeah, it was great. I mean, when your cast is so excited that they spill the beans too, that just tells you how excited everybody is,
No, for sure. I mean, I guess that would be like our next question. Like, what did it take to get this series off the ground to begin with? Like, because I know back in the day, or at least from my understanding, when I originally watched The Proud Family, the movie, the Peanut movie, I call it the Peanut movie, the Proud Family Peanut movie. In a way, it kind of acted like a unofficial
pseudo finale. Yeah.
Right. So at that point, I figured, it must have told all the messages it wanted to tell, and now the writers, producers, everyone's moving on. But I guess since then, there were always talks about a reboot or a revival. So I guess what was that process like? And I guess why did it take so long?
Well, I'm gonna give you guys an exclusive. And November 2018, Ralph Bruce and I were pitching another series, and we pitched it to Netflix, we pitched it to Amazon, and we pitched it to Disney. So Disney called us back the next week and said, "Oh God, we love you guys. We love that idea, but how would you guys like to come back and do the Proud Family instead?" We're like, "Yeah." So that's how the show actually ended up coming about, and you will one day see the series that Bruce, Ralph, and I pitched. Hopefully, we're
okay.
Developing
on Disney or on Netflix.
I can't say where. It'll be Disney related, so I don't know what Disney entity. But
so a Disney format, okay.
Yeah, so that's an exclusive.
We'll take it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So it's like, hey, I'm telling you, it was a dream come true. It was a dream come true because it's like to go back and do a show that you loved and a show that you really honestly felt that, God, why aren't we on the air? Period. Why aren't we in season 40 like The Simpsons now? Our show is just as funny and just as iconic. We had great characters, great supporting characters. To me, we had a Proud Family universe. It wasn't as big as the Simpsons universe, but it would have gotten there if we hadn't, been taken off the air. But that alone told me when we came back and some of the episodes came out with iconic, characters like Dr. Payne, who we use a lot, and then, recurring characters like Peebo, and the reaction we got from Peebo was just off the chain. I was like, wow. And I love Peebo. I mean, he's one of my favorite characters, and it was great. And Cree, it gives us an excuse to work with Cree anytime.
Cree, yes.
She's great. Yeah, Cree's always great.
Yeah, and then Cree is also the voice of our new enforcer character, Bufferina. And that's been going over.
She's Bufferina. Okay.
Yeah, so we've had a great time, and she's our first new iconic returning character that I think everybody's, loves because, Oscar gets his comeuppance with her every time. Just like Oscar gets his comeuppance with most women. Definitely Sugar Mama.
Right.
So, Yeah, so it's been great. And like I said, to bring back the iconic characters, to bring back the Reverend, to bring back Omar, to bring back Frankie, to bring back a lot of these characters that people love. It's just been great.
Oh, so we haven't seen Omar yet. Is he
Keep
coming?
watching.
Okay, keep watching.
He's around the corner.
That's a fan favorite
Now,
too. So
I slipped on, that was a slip of tongue on my part.
No,
but
no.
yeah.
Keep them coming. Keep them coming.
well, speaking of like the new series, so you already said earlier you did things that you couldn't do before. I guess we're seeing and again, maybe it's the platform being Disney Plus, but we definitely seeing a lot more adult humor. Like for example, I think the most noticeable one was the Oscar and Trudy
Out scene before the Prince song.
Yes. Yes.
The
Yeah,
favorite
that was a
musical
classic.
number so far.
So yeah, is that like again? Is that is that just doing what you couldn't do before, and still keeping it?
Well, it's pushing the envelope. I mean, the first time around, we pushed the envelope because some of the stuff, when I rewatch some of these episodes, I'm like, geez, I can't believe we got away with that. And so yeah, it's like we've always pushed the envelope, and that gag was inspired and by the writer L.J. Lawrence in that episode, and it ended up being really funny, and it got past S&P and got past executives. They liked it and they made it in, and that's one of the most talked about scenes in the new series. So we're excited. And there's been a lot of other things that we've had happen that we've gotten away with, and and again, the biggest thing I think that we've done, and it's been purposely not like trying to push the envelope to get a reaction, but we're much more inclusive this time around. We're, like I said, we have two gay dads. We have Michael being out and about. I mean, a lot of people notice that Michael has a different look almost every episode, which is, plays into his character of being, a fashion diva, and so it's been fun, and I think overall the reaction has been better than I think anybody could believe, because you still have some people, there've been petitions out about the show and craziness like that, but it hasn't affected anything. I mean, the numbers from what we've been told have been great, and every week we trend pretty high right after we premiere, so we're doing something right.
No, for sure.
Yeah, and the music, real quick, the music this year, we've had some great songs. I mean, great original songs. We've had popular songs that we were able to incorporate. And Kurt Farquhar, who's our music supervisor, who was a music supervisor the first time around, he's done some incredible things, including the reimagining of the theme song with Joyce Rice, which I think is great. And Joyce is just a sweetheart. And, hopefully we'll see more of her doing some stuff on the show.
She did the outro song too for one of the episodes. Is that correct?
You know what? There was an outro episode. Song on last week's episode. I can't remember if it's Joyce or not though, but it's a good song. It's kind of like Penny's theme song now.
Yeah, like "Be Proud." Yeah.
Yeah. So
okay.
Unfortunately, off the top of my head, I'm not positive who the artist is, but it's a great song.
And I know Dr. Jason and I are a fan of Bobby's Nacho Cheese song.
Oh yeah,
last week.
Nacho Cheese is hit. People love it. It's up there with So Dysfunctional, and we're really happy. I mean, just having Cedric back is always, man. Anytime you have a Bobby episode, you're gonna have some big comedy in it, because you have, Cedric, and then you have the rivalry between Bobby and Oscar for Sugar Mama's affection. Very one-sided in most cases, but it's always funny when we get those guys together. Tommy and Bobby, oh god, Tommy and Cedric, when you get them together, oh my god, it's laughs guaranteed, I tell you.
No, for sure. Like, again, a lot of the things that make us love the original Proud Family is just some of those inter-family relationships, and even just some of the friend relationships. I know Grandmaster and I, we sometimes question, why is Penny still friends with La Cienega?
Oh, I mean,
the greatest
most of her
frenemies.
friends too. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but you know what? We love our cast. We love the characters. We love the friends. We love the frenemies. I mean, Lisa Reyes, who plays La Cienega, you would never meet a sweeter, nicer person on earth.
She's great.
I mean, but she does a great job when she goes into La Cienega mode, and it wouldn't be the same show without her. I mean, you know, and we would never let go of La Cienega. I mean, there's sometimes they say DrJace's a bad friend. Carmelina White is fabulous as DrJace. We would never get rid of DrJace. So it's like, you know, sometimes our friends, you know, make bad choices, but normally at the end they hug, they say we're girls, we're friends, and
on the side of the pillow.
Exactly, just you know, and that's kind of homage to my old classmate at Carolina, Stuart Scott. You know, because he used to say that on SportsCenter all the time, and we started incorporating it in the show, and it's just, you know, it's become like one of our go-to lines.
Were there any like resources that you guys wish that you had like back in the original Proud Families run that you guys have access to now with the revival?
You know, the music budget is much bigger this time around. We've had a lot of music if you've been watching the show. I mean, we've had like hit songs.
Lizzo was just on, you know.
Yeah, we had Lizzo,
Yes.
and we had Tone Loc. We used an Alicia Keys song, and I think that was the dance number, the slow dance in the first episode.
Oh, right.
Is on the block. Yeah, you know, back in the day, we couldn't afford all this music. I mean, we had, you know, one or two big songs. We had Video by NDRE. We had Independent Lady by Destiny's Child. We had Mariah Carey, you know, so, and we had Alicia Keys. So, you know, we had a few numbers spread out of, you know, the 52 episodes we did the first time around. I think we've almost surpassed that in the first 7 or 8 that are airing. So our music budget has been incredible, and it's been great, and it's given us more freedom to, like, you know, try and do stuff that feels contemporary, but in the same sense we still love to grab an old school song from time to time. So we just try to have fun. That's the main thing. We try to have big fun on the show, and music is a huge part of the Proud Family. So that's probably, I think, our biggest change from the first time around.
And you know, speaking of Destiny's Child, I think that's a burning question regarding that episode that featured that song was the credit card episode, and it's nowhere to be found on Disney Plus.
Hey, I think right now the only way to get it is to buy the complete set that's available at Target now. That has all 2 episodes. But and I don't know for sure, but I'm assuming it has to be a music rights clearance situation. But yeah, that's the only episode that's not on Disney Plus right now.
Which is crazy, because that's definitely
a huge episode.
It's an iconic episode.
Iconic.
Yeah. Steve Harvey has the credit card.
Oh, yeah, exactly, with the mustache and everything. And
right.
Yeah, a great writer, Michael Carrington, who I worked with on other shows through the years. He wrote that episode. Every time I see him, man, what happened to that episode? So hopefully that'll be resolved soon, because yeah, that's one of our absolute best episodes ever, I think. I mean, we've had a lot of them too. We've had a lot of great episodes. I mean, I can proudly say I've written more episodes of the Proud Family than anybody on earth. So that makes me feel good. And I wrote a lot of good ones. Hip Hop Helicopter.
Hip Hop Helicopter.
Probably the
and that's one that doesn't stand up now because of the you know,
the CHANG triplets.
Exactly. So we're trying to make up for that. But yeah, so we're just trying to continue the fun of the Proud Family, but we're also trying to be very right this time. I'm not going to say politically correct or this, that, or the other. Right. We just want to be right.
And
go ahead.
As you know, on the topic of the episodes you've written, do you have a favorite in your repertoire?
Oh wow! Well, the first first one I wrote was Teacher's Pet, which was a great episode, which I love because we got to do half of it in sepia tone, aka black and white. And that was like one of the first episodes that really explored Sugar Mama's past.
Right.
That was a really good one. We found out that Oscar's dad was a mechanic for the Tuskegee Airmen and everything. So that was the first episode I wrote. The second episode I wrote was Hip Hop Helicopter, which was, a fun episode. They actually got nominated for, I think, a NAMIC award. And because it was important to tell girls, you don't have to dress older than you are. Be a kid when you're time to grow up, So that was a fun episode. Romeo Must Wed was the last episode I wrote in the first season. And we had Dante Bosco play Quad.
Right.
Then, he got Jake Long after that. And he did a few more episodes. Love to get him back, hopefully someday. I think my favorite all-time episode that I wrote was the Wedding Bell Blues episode.
Another Sugar Mama classic. Yeah,
that was definitely, and to get to work with one of my heroes, Roscoe Lee Brown, it was great. He was a fraternity brother of mine. I make a Psi fraternity, so it was nice to work with him, and he was incredible. And then to have Smokey Robinson come and sing Real Love, and
my mom really appreciated that.
That was one of my mom's favorites too.
Yeah, and that's the thing about the Proud Family. It's like we've always been a 4-quadrant show. We're there for the kids, we're there for the teens, we're there for the young adults, we're there for the older adults. I mean, it's like everybody can watch the Proud Family and find something they love in it. But that was one of my favorites probably of all time. But yeah, I've written, I think I wrote 4 for this first go around. So you've seen one so far, but
okay.
That's a badge of honor I wear. I've written more episodes than anyone alive.
That's a great badge to have. Yeah. Be proud, louder and prouder. For
Yes.
Yeah. I don't jinx myself. What? I'm around dead tomorrow? Yeah. Please cut that out.
We'll
hey, I'm a comedy writer. It's no problem.
No, it's great. It's great to be talking with you about this stuff. And I guess one of the things that we noticed obviously early on with the first episode is that one of the trends was you guys aged up the characters while still keeping them the same, 14 years old. So was that always a decision you guys had in mind, like just kind of tackling more adult themes, or was it always just we want to keep them everyone the same at 14 basically?
Well, that was a decision that was a collaboration between us and Disney. But the real is, I mean, come on, Bart Simpson's been 10 years old for 48 years now.
That's a good point.
So,
Very.
It doesn't hurt the show. So if Penny is going to be 14 for a few more years, I think it'll be fine. I think it also helps telling the stories from, her POV, because at the end of the day, she is the protagonist of the show. And women, especially young girls, relate to Penny and they relate to her friends. I mean, they were a squad way before squad became a popular term and everything. So, keep watching, and I think some of your big questions will be answered.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, keep watching is not going to be a problem at all.
Yeah, well, I hope not, because it's like you guys haven't seen nothing yet.
Oh, that is good to hear. I think I know some of us been waiting for, I guess, more Sugar Mama centric episodes. Trudy, throw her back into the mix some, but I mean, that's just me being a fan and whatnot.
No, absolutely, and they're coming. I mean, we got some great upcoming episodes that are definitely very pro Trudy and pro Sugar Mama. They're coming up. We had a couple of really great episodes, especially the Snackland episode was definitely an Oscar centric episode, and to have Tone Loc and have Lizzo, and to have great little Easter egg characters like it kind of looked like our old buddy, our late old buddy Tiny Lister.
Right.
Oh,
Debo,
yes.
right. Yes.
Right.
great guy. So I really wish he was still here. But yeah, we wanted to like honor him, and we try to honor a lot of people. I mean, we try to be iconic, but we also we're black. We try to be as black as we can. So we bring back characters that people remember and that are special to them. And Debo was definitely special to people that like the Friday movies.
For sure.
An old school hip hopper, and Tone Loc, who is also in Bruce's first animated feature that he directed, Bebe's Kids. He played the baby, so it was fun to bring him back. So it's been fun. It's been cool. I mean, it's been great, and got a lot more of these little Easter eggs to come, and a lot more great characters you guys will love to come, and also a couple people you guys haven't seen in a while will be back. So I think you're really gonna be happy. I mean, we're happy.
We're definitely happy so far. Yeah, I mean, I can't complain. And then, speaking of the little references you throw in just for like culture and black culture and whatnot, this, and having written the episode, the Space Jam, that was pretty direct.
Yeah,
that was very on the nose.
I credit our leader Ralph Farquhar with that. I mean, I wrote that episode and everything, and he had just watched Space Jam for the first time. Again, another movie that Bruce was involved with.
Bruce helped with the animation part.
Bruce was one of the animation directors on there, and we kind of borrowed this climactic scene where Penny makes the dunk over the giant octopus and everything. But yeah, I mean, we try to do stuff that Black kids remember, Black adults remember, Black anybody that is part of that culture remembers, and we bring everybody else along. It's not like we're like, oh no, you can't go on this train if you're not Black. It's for everybody, but it's a blackety black show, as Bruce likes to say. We're unapologetically Black, and it works. It still comes off as a universal show, but it's we're first and foremost a Black show. I mean, look at the picture behind the doctor there. I mean, you got a baby with an afro. You got a
baby
grandmother with afro puffs. I mean, you got an old school New Jack Swing guy that Bobby is now. So it's Bobby. Like you definitely know you're watching a Black show when you watch the Brown Family.
Right. And I think yes, growing up, there's just not as much representation earlier on in like the early 2000s, the late 90s and whatnot. So Proud Family was definitely a staple series as far as representation goes. And goodness, I'd like to say thank you to y'all and the team for, giving us this show and then bringing it back too. And for a new generation as well.
Oh, absolutely. We're glad that Disney brought us back. And you got three guys who, love to do Black television. I mean, Ralph, he specialized in Black television. Bruce, he specializes in Black animation. I specialize in Black television. And it's not because it's the only jobs we can get. It's a choice. I mean, I worked on Married with Children. I worked on a lot of so-called white shows, but my preference has always been doing shows with people that look like me, Black shows. And I mean, I had the distinction. I worked on the first Black sitcom ever on Nickelodeon, My Brother and Me. Then years down the road, I worked on the very first Black animated series on Disney Channel, The Proud Family. So I like to find projects or come up with projects that to me feels, it feels right. To me, it's about kids that are Black, mothers who are Black, fathers who are Black. I mean, we just trying to do a good Black show that's entertaining everybody. And one day, hopefully, we won't have to say Black show or white show or, Latinx show and stuff like that. One day, hopefully, there'll be shows.
No, for sure. And I mean, I think that was what made the original Proud Family, is specifically back in the day, stand out. It was a Black show, and there was like there was no gimmick to it. It was a black family, and this is their day-to-day life. And of course, there's like, you know, shenanigans that go on. You got magic genies and Penny getting trapped in like the past or something. So, but
that Wizard Kelly, who's such a
Wizard
classic Kelly character, you know, it's like I saw a picture on Facebook where girls took a picture and like it came out like from this down, and it was so funny. She said, I look like that guy on the Proud Family. So yeah, so it's like we have some great characters, and of course everybody went nuts when he came back doing the wobble in the very first episode and running for mayor. So it's like some things never change. And if you've been watching the episodes, Wizard Kelly has gotten even richer and has even more companies now, and they always kind of sound like other companies, with Wizard's twist on it.
I think Wiz Nova, right?
Yeah,
I remember
Nova, that. Yeah, that's one. A lot more coming. A lot more coming, and it's fun. And the thing that's so cool is that when we did it the first time around, he was loosely based on Magic Johnson. And now Magic Johnson's son is on there playing Michael, so it's been
comes full circle.
It's been
very cool. Yeah,
that's nice.
Well, goodness, I think that pretty much covers all our base questions. I mean, and you already told us what we could look forward to coming up. I guess do we know if this is a limited run, or are y'all been picked up for a new season? What we're dying to know. I mean,
hey, you just gotta keep watching the show and keep reading Deadline and Variety and Hollywood Reporter, because when they know it and when it's out there, that means it's happening. Or keep up with Disney PR. But I'm honestly hoping that we'll be around for a minute this time, as opposed to last time. But knock on wood and pray.
Right.
That's all we can do.
But no, I think we'll be around for a little bit.
That's good to hear.
Hey, we got merchandise this time around. Target is the exclusive home of Proud Family merchandise.
My coworker literally had a Proud Family shirt on today. I was like, oh man, where'd you
get
that?
Make those back then.
Right. I was like, man, I should probably wear that.
Where were these?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can actually get Proud Family gear now, and also on Amazon sells Proud Family shirts and stuff. So that's something a lot different than the first time around. So I figure, hey, maybe people are catching on this time.
As they should have long time ago. As they should. But that really concludes everything we prepared. But here at the Yonkō Table, Dr. Jason and I, Calvin, we want to thank you for taking time out of your day to come talk to us and give us some exclusives on the Proud Family.
Thanks for having me. I mean, it's been a great run. I mean, how long were we together? Oh, we talked about an hour, so that's pretty good. Yeah. So, but no, I enjoyed it. Like I said, I enjoyed the show the first time I heard it, and I think the first time I heard it actually was the episode on my episode.
Oh, basketball. Yeah.
Yeah, the basketball one, and it was so nice because you guys brought up so many things that we did, like the whole Kobe, Gianna thing, and
yep.
And
he liked the Easter eggs and the references.
Yeah, I mean, had the same number 2. Her suit, uniforms, black and white like Gianna's. So that was something that really was special. And I think you guys may have mentioned the
Mamba mentality.
Well, I said that Penny and Kareem were watching Carmen Jones, which a lot of people were like blown away, like, oh my God, they got a live action movie on the Proud Family, and we got a lot of people talking about that. Again, Kareem was just somebody that everybody just loved, especially the girls. The girls love Kareem, and I'm telling you, the girls who work on our show love Kareem. That's one of their favorite characters, I'm telling you. And I said, Asante Black is such a great actor. I mean, this kid, I'm so glad that we got him, and I think he's doing This Is Us this year, and everybody's raving about that. So he's a really outstanding actor. So he's nice to have as a family member now. And it was a lot of good stuff in that episode, and the literary books that Kareem reads, and then the book that Lysander was pretending to read when she tried to
She was holding it
Right, she
upside
mentioned
down.
Ta-Nehisi Coates too.
Yeah, which was kind of like a lot of people say, "Oh, y'all stole that from Trump. We held the Bible upside down." I said, "Well, maybe."
It could be. I ain't admitting it.
Yeah, so we have a lot of fun with pop culture and what goes on in the world. How can we incorporate our show without dissing anybody? So that was a fun episode, and you guys did a great job talking about the first two when we came back. New Kids and Bad Influencer, and and every week, man, I check out what you guys have to say. So it's glad I get to be on the show. So thank you.
It
so
means
much.
a lot coming
That
from
does,
you, man. I'm not gonna cry on there.
Nah, I mean, you guys are great. So I'm so glad that I get to be a part of it.
We are too.
We are.
Good. Dr. Jace, anything else? We good?
No, I think we covered everything. Calvin, again, thank you so much for coming on, answering our questions, dropping hit exclusives, intentional and some accidental, but we're fine.
Yeah.
We're fine with it. It's all good.
It's been great, and I'm as excited as you guys are about the show coming back. And like I said, the best is yet to come. You guys are gonna be blown away by a lot of this stuff coming up. I'm telling you.
You heard it here, folks.
You heard it
here
here
at the
first.
Yonkō Table from co-executive producer Calvin Brown Jr. More to come, and we will love it. But that is
this coming Wednesday. Coming Wednesday, the return of our Roker. Do not miss.
My hype is up here. I am Al Roker's one of my favorite episodes.
You guys are gonna love it. It's written by one of our new writers, the fabulous Ashley Soto. Wonderful, beautiful Latina writer who's a staff writer on the show. She did a great job, and I think you guys are gonna really love the episode.
I'm excited.
Likewise.
Right. But listen, folks, for everyone listening at home, that is it from us at the Yonkō Table and Calvin Brown Jr. Be sure, if you would love to watch our interview, go follow us, subscribe on YouTube or your listening podcast stations, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you may listen. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We got everything coming at you. Proud family exclusives here at the Yonkō Table. So, without further ado, I'm Grandmaster Hoop. That's Dr. DrJaceAttorney. And again, thank you to Calvin Brown Jr. for joining us today. But signing off here at the Yonkō Table. Y'all take care.
Peace.